Elena Marsh collapsed at the fork where 3 dirt paths led nowhere. Her daughter hadn't made a sound in hours. Too weak, maybe worse. Elena's fingers were numb, her throat raw from thirst. She'd traveled 60 miles in 3 days, no water, no kindness from any settlement that heard her story. A figure emerged through the dust. Elena looked up, vision swimming. She didn't plead, just whispered what was true. "We're dying." The man on the black horse stared down. His voice came low, certain. "Not on my watch." Before we go further, drop your location in the comments. I want to see where Elena's journey reaches, and hit subscribe because what unfolds next will shatter you before it saves you. Elena didn't choose to stop moving. Her body decided for her. 1 second she was walking, the next she was on the ground at the fork. 3 paths spinning around her. North led to Redwood, where they'd spit at her feet. East was Copper Falls, where the marshal threatened jail for trespassing. West was just emptiness, trees and heat and silence that buried hope. So she'd returned to the fork and surrendered. Lily whimpered, not crying. Something smaller. A sound that said her 8-month-old body was giving up. "I know, sweetheart. I know." Elena pulled the thin blanket closer, but warmth had abandoned them both. The rider dismounted. He was tall, weathered, maybe 40. His shirt was worn but clean. Everything about him said work, honest work. "Help us," Elena forced out. "My baby needs... I know what she needs." His voice was rough, empty. "Question is, what will you give for it?" Elena's stomach dropped. She knew that tone. Knew what men wanted from desperate women on empty roads. "I won't. I can't. Didn't ask you to." He stepped closer. "I asked what you'll give. Work, loyalty, silence." Elena stared. "You want a worker?" "I want someone who won't abandon me when the town starts talking. Someone who needs shelter bad enough to ignore what they say about me." "What do they say?" "That I'm cursed. That God took my son because I'm wicked." A bitter smile touched his mouth. "That everything I touch dies." Elena looked at him, really looked. Saw grief carved into every line of his face. "They say that about me too," she whispered. "That my husband drowned because I distracted him. That I made him careless." The man nodded once. "Then we understand each other." He offered his hand. "Caleb Stone." "Elena Marsh." "Can you ride?" "Elena Marsh, I'll try. That's all I need." He lifted her onto the horse like she weighed nothing, settled Lily between them, then swung up behind her. For the first time in months, Elena felt protected. "How far?" she asked. "Far enough." "To where?" "Somewhere the past stops mattering." Caleb turned the horse west. The ranch appeared like salvation. Solid house, working barn, fields that stretched toward mountains. Everything neat, functional, heartbreakingly empty. "It's not much," Caleb said. "It's everything," Elena breathed. Inside, the house was clean but hollow. A museum to a life that ended. 2 coffee cups sat on a shelf, one used, one waiting. "That room was my son's." Caleb pointed to a small door. "It's yours now. I'll pay $20 monthly for housekeeping, cooking, mending. No questions about your past." "Why are you doing this?" Caleb looked at her directly. "Because this place is killing me. I wake up, work, sleep, repeat. Nothing changes, nothing lives." He gestured around. "Maybe if someone else is here, breathing, moving, maybe I'll remember how to be alive too." Elena understood. She'd been drowning in her own shame. Maybe they could drown together, or maybe find shore. "You should know what you're sheltering," Elena said quietly. "I was married at 19. My husband Daniel worked the fishing boats. We were happy, or I thought we were. She took a breath. He started staying out longer, coming home exhausted. I begged him to rest, to stay home. He said I was selfish, that I didn't understand how hard he worked. Caleb listened without interrupting. One day there was a storm. 3 men were lost. Daniel was one of them. Ruth's hands shook. The town said it was my fault, that I'd distracted him, made him weak. They said I was cursed. I built a cattle empire, Caleb said quietly. Married my best friend. Spent so much time expanding the ranch that I wasn't there when my son got sick. His jaw tightened. Fever took him in 2 days. Doctor said if I'd noticed sooner, maybe he could have saved him. But I was at an auction, buying more land. They stood in the silence between their griefs. The town will come, Elena whispered. Let them. Caleb moved to the fireplace. I stopped caring what people think when the only person who mattered stopped breathing. That night, Caleb set both coffee cups on the table for the first time in 3 years. Elena cooked stew from vegetables in the cellar. It wasn't fancy, but it was hot, shared, real. After dinner, Caleb washed dishes while Elena nursed Lily in the back room. When she emerged, he was staring at a child's wooden horse on the mantel. You can move it, Elena said gently. I know. Caleb didn't move, but maybe it's time I let him go. He took the horse down, walked to the back room, placed it carefully in a trunk. He'd want Lily to have a home, Caleb said. He'd want me to keep living. Elena's throat tightened. You loved him very much. I did. And I failed him. Grant's voice was raw. I won't fail you too, Elena. I promise. You don't owe me anything. Yes, I do. His voice was firm. You made a promise to stay. I'm making one to stand. Whatever comes, whatever the town says, I stand. Elena believed him. That night, she laid Lily in the small bed, tucked the blanket around her. Then she sat by the window, looking out at the darkening land. Somewhere out there, people who hated her were sleeping. But here, in this house with this grieving man and his empty coffee cups, Elena felt something she hadn't felt in months. Safe. She didn't know if it would last, didn't know if Caleb could keep his promise when judgment came. But for tonight, she was warm, fed, her baby sleeping peacefully. For tonight, that was enough. Elena closed her eyes and whispered to the darkness, Thank you. No one answered, but the fire crackled, the wind settled, and Elena slept without nightmares for the first time in a year.